welcome to my channel. My name is Anya and in today's video I want to put makeup on. It's been a pretty rough couple of weeks for me for a couple of reasons and I haven't filmed much. I also haven't worn a lot of makeup, but I want to today, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one of my go-to summery makeups. It's going to contain yellow eyeshadow because I love yellow eyeshadow, but it's going to be a very glowy and light base. Before I start though, I want to just chat briefly about where I've been, where I haven't uploaded all that much in the last couple of weeks. I started therapy for medical trauma not too long ago and I've been to a couple of sessions and it's hit me harder than I expected. I knew it was going to take a lot out of me emotionally, but it's also affected my overall health. My energy levels have been on the floor. I've just not been doing well, and because it is a lot of hard things we're going through, I've been nice to myself and told myself, relax, take the time you need to recuperate. Don't do anything you don't want to do. So I've been reading a lot, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, a lot of Animal Crossing, just getting through it. In May I also got my first dose of the COVID vaccine. I was so excited when I got the text. I've been a ball of nerves since about March last year, so it's good to finally have some form of relief. Most of my family now also has at least one dose, which helps a lot with the nerves and the anxiety. I got my second dose, however, last Thursday, so it's about a week ago. The first dose was fine. I have always been fairly fortunate. I don't get a lot of side effects from vaccines. I have had 0 for the flu shot, for the HPV. I was expecting a sore arm, a bit of a fever, a bit of a slump in energy and just feeling overall bad. Nothing happened after the first dose other than a sore arm slightly, but it was fine. The second dose was a bit harder. The first 3 days, so Thursday, Friday and Saturday, was fine. I was not even having a painful arm. It was perfect. It was as if nothing had happened. And then Sunday hit and I wasn't feeling too good. I had a fever, extremely fatigued. It's now Thursday and I'm starting to feel like a human again, so I'm going to put makeup on. It's going to be a very glowy base, very minimal coverage, and of course yellow eyeshadow. So I think we should just get started. Now, one of my favourite things to do to get the appearance of a tan, because we are in July now, and I don't tan. I've been spending a lot of time outside recently and my head and face is always in the shadows because I am heat intolerant and I have light sensitivity, so the sun is just not a good match for my brain. I still don't really tan all that much, but I like to give the appearance of a tan sometimes, and I also feel like it just helps me look a little bit less pink in the face because I don't tan into like a warm orange brown colour, I tan very pink. What I am going to do today is a bit of green colour corrector, a little bit of spot concealing on the spots that I have, and I'm going to apply bronzer all over my face, and that's what I've been doing a lot when I want makeup on but I don't want to put foundation on, because it just unifies my face. It gives me a slight bit of a tan. You would get the same effect I would assume with fake tan. I just can't be bothered to deal with it. I'm going to start with too many primers. So my first step is the Smashbox primer water, which I just spritz all over my face. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a primer that has some smoothing effects. I've been enjoying the NYX Marshmellow Primer recently, and I'm going to apply that mainly to the areas of my breakouts because I don't want them to be super textured or dry looking. And then I'm going to take a glowy primer. I'm currently panning the CoverFX one and I have very little left, like very little left. This might actually be the last time I can get product out. Yep. This has a very pink glow, which ends up very natural looking on my skin. I do want to add a touch of something more golden or bronze, so I'm going to add the CoverFX Custom Enhancer drops in Moonlight, just a tiny drop of that. I'm also going to mix this into my blush later, so I don't need too much. I'm going to put this all over my face, focusing mostly on the high points, my forehead, my cheekbones, my chin, as well as my nose, but I like blending it all over my face and any leftovers get taken down my neck, just because I like my entire face to be glowy. I'm then going to move on to my eyebrows, and I do need to recolor mine. I've been meaning to do it for like 2 weeks and I keep forgetting. So I'm going to do those first because they are going to require a little bit, and I'm going to use soap and I find it easier to do with that now. Then clean up the edges before I apply any kind of coverage product around them, otherwise it tends to look a little bit weird when I don't get to clean the soap off properly. I'm just using my Makeup Mecca brow soap. I like loading up my brush kind of heavy with the soap because I would rather apply a lot at first and remove later, but I brush my brows up properly, fluff them up, get soap everywhere, and then I will start shaping. I like the front of my brows to be kind of fluffy, and I like the tail side to point a little bit more upwards towards my hair, not just straight up to my forehead, so a little bit angled, and I shape them and shape the tail to how I like it. I went a tad bit overboard with the soap on that brow, and I just take a Q-tip to work around the edges to remove all of the additional soap that isn't holding my brows in place and are just like there on the skin because they create a texture difference from the rest of my skin. I'm now gonna let that properly dry and I'm gonna come back and like colour them in later. I just needed to get the soap in place. So for my face, I'm gonna start with the green colour corrector. Mine is from Makeup Mecca, and the way I like to do this is to spread it on my fingers and then pat it into the face where I want it. I'm going to put this mainly on my forehead and chin. I want to keep my cheeks kind of free. I may end up putting a little bit along the jawline at the bottom. Then we're going to go in with the bronzer. I don't need a lot of this because I like some of the redness to be there because it meshes well with the bronzer. For concealer, I'm going to use the It Cosmetics by On Dry. Again, I'm panning this. This is old colours, old formulation. My shade is light, and this has been a pretty good match for me. I am going to take a tiny bit of medium because I have a baby one of that, just to mix it into it because I have a feeling that once I add the bronzer, the shade light is going to be a bit too light. I'm going to take a Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush and I'm going to apply this underneath my eyes. I'm also going to apply it on any of the breakouts that I have. I'm also going to take this just over the eyelid to cancel out any of my redness. I really like this concealer because I can end up with pretty near full coverage if it isn't actually full, but it still gives me that glossy look. It doesn't look matte, it doesn't look heavy. Then for the bronzer, now I'm currently using a mix of the two in my project pan. So I have Fenty Matchsticks in Amber, which is a cool toned brown, and then I have the Rimmel Insta Duo Stick in Light, which is very, very warm. None of the undertones are perfect for me, so I mix them. And the Rimmel side also has a highlighter, and I tend to mix that in just to add additional glow. And then taking a foundation brush, this is 305 from Makeup Mecca. It's the one that kind of looks like a triangle, and I'm going to use this to apply bronzer. This is the current colour. It is pretty intense still because the Fenty has a lot of coverage, the Rimmel one is more sheer. I like to start on my forehead because I feel like I have the most room for error there. It's a pretty large surface with very minimal texture for me, so I can pretty much blend things forever. And I like to just start by depositing the product. It's going to look weird for a while. I'm then taking it on my nose with just what's left. I didn't put any concealer on my nose. Maybe I should have. We're going to see in a second. I can easily grab some. And then I'm just going to work my way out of my nose over my cheeks. And also taking a little bit on the top lip. Also, not forgetting the under eyes. I'm applying this most likely all over my face. I'm going to maybe leave just a tiny bit along the jaw. And then I'm going to blend the forehead. Like that. Kind of gives that sun-kissed vibe. Then dipping again in, and I'm going to do my chin and blending along the jaw. There is more intensity along the centre of my face, and that's just the way I like it. I am going to leave this on the back of my hand. Well, I'm going to leave part of it because I'm going to apply blush next. And I like to have this here in case I feel like mixing it into the blush. So for blush, I'm going to use the new Creamy Dreamy blushes from Makeup Mecca. These are very reminiscent of the Glossier Cloud paints and packaging wise. I can't get a hold of the Glossier Cloud paints because they don't ship to Norway. I've never tried them. Don't know if the formulation is similar. I've worn Soft Peach and I love it so much. I'm going to do Coral today, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of the CoverFX Custom Enhancer drops because I want my skin to glow. And I managed to mix a lot of blush. I'm going to use a small stipple brush from e.l.f. and apply that essentially from ear to ear across the nose. But as a blush formulation, it is a little bit on the sheer side, which is kind of perfect for me when it comes to building and blending. I do like a strong blush though, so I might end up adding a little bit more. That's very pretty. Maybe I won't. Nothing screams summer than making me look sunburnt on purpose. I have zoomed you in. I have done my eyebrows using the Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen from NYX. I've also primed my eyes and set it powder. I've also set my under eye area because otherwise my mascara is going to smudge. My eyeshadow is going to be the Honey palette, and I'm going to use Sweet Spot, which is a bright yellow, potentially deepen it with a little bit of this one, which is Oh Behave. And then I'm going to use a Cleona Multichrome as my lid colour because I'm in love with it. To start, I'm going to try and use the Colourpop pencil. This is in the shade Punch, which is a beautiful yellow. I'm going to try and get this on my eyelid as a base. Mine might be a bit too dry for that, so I'm going to just see how far I get. We're going to work with what we can. I would like to at least get some of the, like the inner part coloured in yellow because I want it to be bright. very, very bright. It's looking quite dry and a bit patchy. I'm going to take the clear multi-chrome, and I have the shade Throne, which I'm not going to be able to get all of the shifts, but it has like a lime colour. It is a little bit like a peachy pink. I'm going to put that all over where I've just put the eye pencil. And I'm going to use my finger. Hopefully it's going to mask how dry the eyelid looks. I'm then taking a fluffy brush. This is from Remote Techniques, and I'm going to dip into Sweet Spot from Aha Honey, and I'm going to work that into the crease and also the outer corner. And I'm going to take Sweet Spot also along the lower lashes. Then taking a clean fluffy brush and blending the edge. On a different brush, this is a kind of a smaller one, I'm going to take O Behave, which is a touch deeper, and just hit the outer V, which is the outer part of the lid near the lash line, and making a V, connecting it into the outer part of the crease. Not sure the difference is actually going to show up all that much on camera, but it gives a very subtle bit of definition. I'm also going to take this along the outer part of the lower lash line. And this is a little bit deeper and a little bit more orange and golden in comparison to Sweet Spot, which is the very, very bright. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same to the other eye. Put mascara on, line my lash line with the punch line from ColourPop, and I'll be right back. So mascara is on, liner is on. The only thing I haven't done is a highlighter on like the inner corner. I don't think my cheeks need extra glow, but I want something for my inner corner and brow bone. This is from ColourPop. This is the Disney Villains Cruella Super Dark Highlighter. It looks white, but it has a peach shift, which I adore. So I'm going to put that on my inner corner and brow bone, and maybe other places, we will see. I'm loving it. My camera is making me look pink, entirely pink, which I mean I've kind of done to myself, applying blush almost over my entire face. On my lips, I ended up putting on a little bit of this ColourPop Disney Designer Gloss in Bobbity, which is a peach colour. It's very sheer, so it just ends up looking kind of glossy. I also have two other lip options to show you, just because. Next up is this Fenty Mademoiselle lipstick in the shade Single, which I adore, and I feel like it kind of grounds the look a little bit, and nothing to me says summer quite like a bright orange one. This is Velvet Morning from Lisa Eldridge, one of my favourites. I am loving the look. Thank you again so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've tried any of the products I've used today, tell me what you think of them down in the comments below, and I will see you again next time. Bye!